Before I ever met you, I made a decision that quietly changed the direction of my life. I realized that if I spent all my time searching for the right person without becoming the right person myself, I would eventually find love, but I wouldn't know how to protect it. That thought stayed with me. It challenged me. It forced me to stop asking, "Where are you?" and start asking, "Who am I becoming while I wait?" The truth is, there was a version of me that wasn't ready for the kind of relationship I dream about today. I was ambitious, full of ideas, constantly chasing the next challenge, but I also had things to learn about patience, humility, and emotional strength. Success can teach you confidence, but it doesn't automatically teach you how to love another human being well. Building companies is difficult. Building trust with someone who chooses to share their entire life with you is even more important. So I began working on the things that no one applauds. I learned to listen more than I spoke. I learned that being strong doesn't mean having all the answers. It means being willing to admit when you're wrong. I discovered that integrity isn't something you perform when people are watching. It's the quiet decision you make when nobody would ever know the difference. Those lessons weren't glamorous, but they became the foundation of the man I hope you'll one day know. There were moments when I questioned whether the waiting was worth it. Watching other people fall in love while I continued walking my own path wasn't always easy. There were lonely nights, unexpected setbacks, and seasons where it felt like life was asking me to become someone new before allowing me to meet someone special. Looking back now, I understand why. Growth cannot be rushed, character cannot be borrowed, and lasting love cannot be built on an unfinished foundation. I don't want you to inherit the mistakes I refuse to confront. I want you to meet someone who has already learned that pride destroys conversations, that kindness wins more battles than anger, and that loyalty is proven through ordinary days, not dramatic promises. I wanted to become a man who brings peace instead of chaos, encouragement instead of criticism, and stability instead of uncertainty. Wherever you are right now, you're probably growing too. Maybe life is shaping your heart in ways neither of us can fully understand yet. Maybe every challenge you're facing today is preparing you for the life we'll eventually build together. If that's true, then every difficult season has meaning and every lesson has a purpose. So when our paths finally cross, I don't want our story to begin with two strangers hoping love will fix them. I want it to begin with two people who allowed life to refine them, so together they can build something that neither time nor adversity can ever break. And that is the promise I chose to make long before I ever knew your name. One of the biggest lessons I've learned is that love should never become a rescue mission. I don't need you to complete me, because I believe that no one person can carry the weight of another person's identity. That's too much to ask of anyone. I don't want you to wake up every morning feeling responsible for making me happy, fixing my fears, or filling the empty spaces inside me. Those are responsibilities I've chosen to face long before we meet. What I want is something far more meaningful. I want you to walk beside me, not behind me where your voice gets lost, not in front of me where all the pressure rests on your shoulders. Beside me where we can see the same horizon, face the same storms, and celebrate the same victories together. I've spent a lot of my life chasing ambitious goals, solving difficult problems, and imagining what the future could become. Those experiences taught me something unexpected. Every great mission requires people who challenge each other, who think differently, who bring strengths the other doesn't possess. Progress doesn't happen because everyone is the same. It happens because different minds move toward the same purpose. I believe marriage works the same way. I don't expect us to agree on everything. In fact, I hope we won't. I hope you'll have the courage to tell me when I'm wrong. I hope you'll ask difficult questions, bring perspectives I never considered, and help me see beyond my own assumptions. I don't want admiration that stays silent. I want honesty that makes us stronger, and I promise the same to you. I won't try to change who you are just to make life more comfortable for me. Your dreams won't become smaller because we get married. Your voice won't become quieter because we're building a life together. I want to celebrate your ambitions with the same excitement I feel for my own, because your success is never a threat to mine. When one of us grows, both of us become stronger. There will be seasons when one of us carries more than the other. That's simply part of life. Maybe one day I'll be exhausted, questioning whether I have enough left to give. Maybe another day you'll feel overwhelmed by challenges neither of us expected. In those moments, we won't keep score. We won't measure who sacrificed more or who deserved more appreciation. We'll simply step closer to each other, knowing that partnerships survive because both people are willing to carry the weight whenever it's needed. I also hope we never lose our individuality. I want us to have conversations that stretch late into the night, projects that excite us, friendships that keep us grounded, and moments alone that help us continue growing. Loving someone deeply should never require losing yourself. The strongest relationships aren't built by two people disappearing into each other. They're built by two people becoming even more themselves while choosing each other every single day. When people look at us, I don't want them to see one person standing in another's shadow. I want them to see two lives moving with the same direction, fueled by mutual respect, unwavering trust, and a shared belief that together we can accomplish more than either of us ever could alone. Because the most extraordinary love is never about finding someone to finish your story. It is about finding someone who is ready to build the next chapter with you, step for step, side by side. There's something I want to thank you for, even though we may not have met yet. It might sound strange to thank someone whose face I haven't seen, whose voice I haven't heard, and whose hand I haven't held. But I believe you've been living a story of your own, and that story matters more than either of us realizes. Every day you've lived without knowing me has still been preparing you for the day our paths finally cross. Thank you for refusing to let disappointment harden your heart. I know life probably hasn't unfolded exactly the way you imagined. There have likely been moments when people misunderstood you, underestimated you, or walked away when they promised they wouldn't. Maybe you've experienced dreams that didn't happen on schedule, or relationships that taught painful lessons instead of lasting happiness. None of those moments define your worth, but they have shaped your strength. And for every time you chose to stand back up instead of giving up, I want you to know that I'm grateful. Thank you for becoming a woman who continues to believe in kindness, even in a world that often rewards indifference. It takes courage to remain gentle without becoming weak. It takes wisdom to forgive without forgetting the lessons. It takes real character to keep loving life after it has given you reasons to become cynical. Those quiet victories may never make headlines, but they are the qualities that build extraordinary lives. I also want to thank you for growing in ways no one else may have noticed. Maybe you learned to set healthy boundaries after years of saying yes to everyone else. Maybe you discovered that your peace is more valuable than constant approval. Maybe you found confidence after years of doubting yourself. Those invisible transformations are some of the most powerful achievements a person can experience. They don't happen overnight, and they aren't measured by applause. They happen one difficult decision at a time. I hope you never apologize for the woman you're becoming. The right person won't ask you to shrink your dreams, hide your intelligence, or silence your voice. I certainly won't. The qualities that make you unique are the very qualities I hope to admire every single day. I don't want a perfect version of you. I want the real you, the one shaped by victories, failures, laughter, tears, courage, and perseverance. It's amazing to think that while I've been learning lessons on my side of the world, you've been learning yours. We may have been separated by cities, countries, careers, or timing, but growth has been happening in parallel. Without realizing it, we've both been preparing for a conversation that hasn't happened yet and a future that hasn't arrived. So wherever you are today, keep becoming the woman you were created to be. Keep choosing integrity over convenience, hope over fear, and purpose over distraction. Every step you take toward becoming your truest self brings you closer not only to your own future but to the life we'll eventually build together. And when we finally meet, I won't just be grateful that I found you. I will be grateful for every unseen battle that shaped the incredible woman standing before me. When I think about the life we'll build together, I don't picture a house first. I picture a feeling. A place where the world can be loud, demanding, and unpredictable, but the moment we walk through our front door, we know we've come home. Not because the walls are beautiful or the furniture is expensive, but because trust lives there. To me, that's what truly transforms a house into a home. I don't want either of us to wonder where we stand with each other. I don't want love to feel like a test we have to pass every day or a competition where someone has to win. I want us to know, with complete confidence, that we're on the same team. That certainty becomes a foundation strong enough to carry us through seasons of success, disappointment, change, and uncertainty. There will be days when life stretches us. Work will be demanding. Plans won't always unfold the way we imagined. We'll make mistakes because we're human, not because we stop caring. In those moments, I don't want fear to become the language of our relationship. I don't want fear of being judged, fear of admitting we're wrong, fear of speaking honestly, or fear that one difficult conversation could destroy everything we've built. Instead, I want us to choose honesty, even when it's uncomfortable. I'd rather hear a difficult truth than a comforting lie. Real trust isn't created because two people never make mistakes. It's created because they tell each other the truth, take responsibility when they fail, and keep showing up with the courage to repair what has been damaged. I also hope our home becomes a place where vulnerability is welcomed instead of questioned. There may be days when I'm carrying more pressure than anyone else can see. I want to know I can tell you that without feeling like I've failed, and I want you to know exactly the same. If your heart feels heavy, if you're overwhelmed, if you're afraid, I never want you to hide those emotions just to appear strong. The strongest people aren't those who never struggle. They're the ones who trust someone enough to be seen in the middle of the struggle. I promise that respect will never depend on whether we agree. We may see situations differently. We may have conversations that challenge us both, but disagreement should never become disrespect. I want us to learn how to pause before reacting, to understand before defending, and to remember that preserving each other's dignity is always more important than proving a point. And when conflict comes, because it inevitably will, I hope we never use each other's weaknesses as weapons. Words can leave marks long after an argument ends. I don't want temporary frustration to create permanent wounds. Let's become the kind of couple that protects each other's hearts even while working through difficult moments. Let's be the people who apologize sincerely, forgive intentionally, and never let pride become more valuable than peace. Most importantly, I want our future family, whether it's just the two of us for a season or one day filled with children, to experience an atmosphere where love is steady rather than uncertain. A place where laughter comes easily, where kindness is ordinary, where promises are kept, and where everyone feels safe simply being themselves. Because the greatest home we will ever build won't be measured by its size or its address. It will be measured by the unwavering trust that makes every person inside it feel completely and unshakably loved. One thing I've come to believe is that the strongest relationships aren't built during extraordinary moments. They're built during the ordinary ones. The world loves grand gestures. It celebrates the surprise vacations, the anniversary dinners, the perfectly captured photographs, and the unforgettable milestones. Those moments are beautiful, and I hope we'll have many of them, but they are only a small part of a lifetime together. Real love is written in the spaces between the celebrations. I promise to choose you on the mornings when we're both running late, when the coffee gets cold, and when the day ahead feels overwhelming. I'll choose you on the evenings when we're too tired to have long conversations, but still find comfort sitting beside each other in silence. Those quiet moments may never appear remarkable to anyone else, but I believe that's where a marriage quietly becomes extraordinary. Life won't always be convenient. There will be deadlines, unexpected setbacks, financial decisions, family responsibilities, and plans that don't unfold the way we imagined. There may be seasons when one of us feels discouraged while the other has to carry a little more hope. In those moments, I don't want our commitment to depend on how easy life feels. I want it to depend on the promise we've already made, to remain present, even when circumstances invite us to pull away. I want you to know that I won't only admire you when everything is going well, I'll admire your resilience when life becomes difficult. I'll appreciate your kindness after a long day, your patience when things don't go according to plan, and your courage when you're facing challenges no one else can see. Those are the moments that reveal who we truly are, and those are the moments when love matters most. I also hope we never become so busy building a future that we forget to enjoy the present. I want us to laugh over simple things, celebrate small victories, cook meals together even if they don't turn out perfectly, take evening walks without needing a destination, and create traditions that belong only to us. Years from now, I doubt we'll remember every achievement or every purchase, but I believe we'll remember how we made each other feel on ordinary Tuesdays that slowly became a beautiful lifetime. There will be days when neither of us is at our best. We might be impatient, distracted, or simply exhausted. I know I'm not going to be perfect, and I don't expect perfection from you either. What I do expect is that we'll keep returning to each other with humility, grace, and the willingness to begin again. Love isn't proven by never making mistakes. It's proven by refusing to let those mistakes become permanent distances between two people who genuinely care. If success comes, I want to celebrate it with you. If failure comes, I want to face it with you. If life surprises us with opportunities we never imagined, I want us to stay grounded enough to remember that our greatest accomplishment was never what we achieved. It was the relationship we protected through every season. Because at the end of the day, the most meaningful promise I can make isn't that every day will be unforgettable. It's that on every ordinary day, I will keep choosing you with the same intention as if it were the very first day we fell in love. There's something I know with absolute certainty. Life will become heavy at times. No amount of planning, intelligence, or determination can remove every obstacle from our path. There will be seasons when the future feels uncertain, when our plans don't unfold the way we expected, and when the weight of responsibility seems greater than our strength. I don't want to pretend those moments won't come. Instead, I want to promise you something far more meaningful. You will never have to carry those moments alone. I hope our relationship becomes the one place where neither of us has to wear a mask. The world often expects people to appear strong all the time. It rewards confidence, celebrates achievement, and rarely makes space for vulnerability. But I don't want our home to work that way. I want it to be the place where we can admit we're tired, uncertain, disappointed, or afraid, without worrying that those emotions will make us less valuable in each other's eyes. If one day I come home exhausted after giving everything I have to the world, I don't need you to solve every problem. Sometimes the greatest gift isn't advice, it's understanding. It's knowing someone is sitting beside you, reminding you that you're not facing the storm by yourself. I promise to offer you that same kind of presence whenever life feels overwhelming. I want to become the person who brings peace into your chaos instead of adding to it. There may be days when you question yourself, days when your confidence feels distant, when a dream doesn't work out, or when life asks more of you than you feel ready to give. In those moments, I won't remind you of your failures. I'll remind you of your strength. I'll remind you of the woman who has already overcome challenges she once believed were impossible. Sometimes we all need someone who sees the best in us before we can see it ourselves. I also hope we learn to protect each other's hearts during difficult seasons. Stress has a way of making people impatient. Pressure can make words sharper than we intend. That's why I want us to remember that the person standing across from us is never the enemy. The challenge is the enemy, the fear is the enemy, the exhaustion is the enemy. We fight those things together, never each other. As the years pass, our lives will change. Our responsibilities may grow. We may experience incredible victories, painful losses, unexpected detours, and moments that redefine everything we thought we knew. Through every chapter, I want one thing to remain constant: the certainty that no matter what happens outside our home, inside it we have someone who believes in us without hesitation. I don't want our love to be measured only by the happiest memories. I want it to be remembered for the difficult seasons we survived together, the moments when we refused to let fear separate us, the nights when we chose conversation over silence, compassion over criticism, and hope over despair. Those are the moments that transform affection into something unbreakable. So if life ever becomes too heavy for one of us to stand alone, let the other be the steady hand that refuses to let go. Because the deepest expression of love isn't found in carrying no burdens at all. It's found in knowing that whatever burden comes, we'll carry it together until neither of us has to bear it alone. People often think the greatest adventure is found somewhere far away. They imagine it's hidden in another country, another achievement, another breakthrough, or another impossible dream waiting to become reality. I've spent a lot of my life believing that extraordinary things are always just beyond the horizon. And while I still believe in dreaming big, I've come to realize that the most meaningful adventure I'll ever experience won't be measured by where I travel or what I accomplish. It will be measured by the life we choose to build together. I imagine us looking back years from now, not remembering every meeting, every deadline, or every project that demanded our attention. Instead, I think we'll remember the little moments that quietly became the foundation of our story. The mornings we laughed before the day even began. The late-night conversations that somehow answered questions we hadn't even asked. The spontaneous road trips with no perfect plan. The meals we cooked together. The quiet evenings that reminded us we didn't need constant excitement to feel completely alive. I want us to become explorers of an ordinary life lived extraordinarily well. I want us to celebrate birthdays, anniversaries, unexpected victories, and even the lessons hidden inside disappointments. I want us to create traditions that belong only to us. Simple rituals that, over time, become priceless memories. Maybe it's watching the sunrise together once a year, writing letters to each other on every anniversary, or simply ending each day by asking, "What made you smile today?" Those small habits may seem insignificant in the moment, but they become the threads that weave a lifetime together. I also hope we never stop dreaming. Dreams don't have an expiration date. There will always be new places to discover, new ideas to pursue, new skills to learn, and new ways to grow. I want us to encourage each other to stay curious, because curiosity keeps life vibrant. It reminds us that no matter how much we've experienced, there's always another chapter waiting to be written. If we're blessed with children someday, I hope they'll grow up seeing two people who never stop choosing wonder. I hope they'll learn that success isn't only about achievement, but about kindness, integrity, resilience, and the way you treat the people you love. And if life takes us down a different path, then we'll still build a home overflowing with purpose, generosity, laughter, and gratitude. A meaningful life is never defined by following one specific plan. It's defined by embracing each season with courage and love. There will be unexpected turns. Some dreams will unfold exactly as we imagined, while others will surprise us in ways we never could have predicted. That's the beauty of any real adventure. The destination matters, but it's the journey that transforms us. I don't need every detail of our future to be certain. I only need to know that we'll face it together. One day, when we look back on everything we've built, I hope our greatest source of pride won't be the places we reached or the milestones we achieved. I hope it will be the realization that through every change, every challenge, every triumph, and every ordinary day, we never stop building each other. Because the greatest adventure isn't finding the perfect life, it's creating an unforgettable one with the person you choose every single day. If you're watching this someday, then something incredible has already happened. Somehow, out of all the billions of people in the world, our paths crossed. The distance that once separated us no longer exists. The questions I carried about who you were have become memories, and the future I could only imagine is now unfolding one day at a time. If that's where we are, then I want you to know something that has always been true, even before we met. I never stopped believing in us. There were seasons when I had no idea when, where, or how our story would begin. I couldn't predict the timing, and I certainly couldn't force it. All I could do was continue moving forward, becoming the man I hoped you would one day be proud to stand beside. Every challenge I faced, every lesson I learned, every moment of waiting became part of a preparation I couldn't fully understand at the time. Looking back, I realized that some of the greatest gifts in life arrive only after we've become ready to receive them. I hope you felt that same sense of purpose during your own journey. Maybe there were moments when you wondered if the right person would ever come along. Maybe you questioned whether waiting was worth it. Maybe there were days when hope felt distant and the future seemed uncertain. If you ever felt that way, I want you to know that none of those moments were wasted. They were shaping your heart with patience, wisdom, resilience, and compassion. They were quietly preparing you for a love built not on chance but on character. What amazes me is that while we were living separate lives, our stories were moving toward each other without either of us realizing it. Every decision, every unexpected detour, every closed door, and every new opportunity was guiding us closer to a moment that neither of us could see. Life has a remarkable way of connecting people at exactly the right time, not when they're searching the hardest, but when they're ready to build something that can truly last. If we've learned anything together, I hope it's this. Love is not a destination that suddenly solves every problem. It's a commitment that grows stronger with every conversation, every sacrifice, every act of kindness, and every ordinary day we continue choosing one another. The future will still bring new challenges, new dreams, and new opportunities to grow, but I no longer see those things with uncertainty. I see them with confidence because I know I won't be facing them alone. So whenever life changes, whenever success comes or setbacks appear, whenever the world feels uncertain, I hope we remember where this journey began, not with perfection, but with faith. Faith that the right things are worth waiting for. Faith that two people committed to growth can build something extraordinary. Faith that love becomes stronger when it's chosen again and again. If this message ever becomes part of our story, then let it always remind you that before I knew your face, before I heard your voice, and before I could hold your hand, I had already made one quiet decision that would never change. I believed there was someone worth becoming better for, and every step of that journey was leading me to you. And if there is one promise I hope echoes through every chapter of our lives, it is this: I will never stop believing in the future we choose to build together.